Aurelio, you can never count the chickens before they hatch, but 3-0 lead coming out of the first leg, as close to as could have gone for your side tonight?
To be honest, the result's excellent. 3 goals puts us in a good position for next week. They had a really good game against us tonight, to be honest, and they probably should have scored. We probably scored at the right times. That sort of took a little bit of pressure off us. All 3 goals probably came out when we were suffering a little bit. But credit to our guys, because it was never easy, especially dealing with a lot of those longer balls to Roos and Ibasuki. It's not easy, and we handled that better in the second half than we did in the first half. So, yeah. I think I said yesterday or the day before that this is going to be a 50-50 game. I think if you look at the stats, it was pretty even right across the board. So we took our chances at the right time. It was probably been a bit of our Achilles heel throughout the course of the year, where we've created chances and haven't put them away. This time, lesser chances, but seemed tonight put them away at the right time.
Yeah, because as you said, it's been maybe the one thing missing from your team this season. What do you think that was down to? Was it just the law of averages? Eventually you were going to have one of these nights?
Yeah, who knows? We took the goals well. Set pieces have been very good over the last couple of months for us, and we probably could have had a couple more. I think Teal's probably had a couple of decent chances as well that he generally should take. But as I said, really pleased for the result. But it's just half time. That's the message already. Just half time. We got another 100 minutes, a tough 100 minutes coming up next week.
Imagine you anticipate, obviously Western throwing everything at you next week.
Yeah.
How do you make sure you don't invite pressure and make it difficult for yourself?
Yeah, but we have to do everything that we've done all year, and we have to do it with more intensity and for longer. We had moments where we looked really good, and we broke their press, and we got through midfield quite well, but it wasn't enough for us. So we had some difficult moments in that period. But finals football is completely different. It's everyone's more on edge, and we had Zane, Ali Lapane. Who else did we have? Maxi, really playing their first finals, and it's a different vibe, it's a different feel, and you can invite your own pressure because it is a final, it is a semi-final, and you can overthink it sometimes, but they've done so well through the course of the year when it's just a home and away game. Sometimes you can invite, especially when you're young, you can invite that pressure by overthinking it too much. But they just got to stay calm, and that was part of our focus as well, just being calm, staying focused, make sure that we have the right intensity. It was certainly much improved in the second half.
Does it feel like everything is coming together at the right time though? Like you look at, obviously Cohen's guys struggle with injuries, it's that wonderful finish, then Matt Leckie, I think, hasn't scored since December 23, we know all the issues he had.
That was his last game, yeah. December 23.
And just steams in and scores the goal when they just brought on Botic and were probably trying to get their tails up.
That's my point about we scored probably at the right times tonight. And he scored a nice goal, and as we said, with Lex, he brings us a more physical side to the team, and all year we said, prior to the last game against Sydney, we've done all the hard work through the course of pre-season and the season to get ourselves and put ourselves in that position, and we actually finished second. And we've done the same thing again tonight. We've put ourselves in the position because of the will, the want, and as I said, it's not a fluke. We've put ourselves in that position. Now it's up to us to deal with next week and make sure we get the job done next week.
Just on Telio, he's looking like the Telio of old at the moment. What are you making of his sort of form and his performances?
Yeah, it's been good. His last, especially his last 6 weeks, I think has been excellent. And he probably deserved to score a goal tonight, and probably should have scored a goal tonight. So Yeah. We all know, I think I've spoken so many times about Tills over the course of the season that, on his day when he's on, he's definitely the best winger in the competition. So he brings a lot of different attributes. He can score, he can make assists, he's a great dribbler, he's clever, all those things that make him a very, very good player.
You reference taking chances when they come along, but that second goal wasn't necessarily a clear-cut chance. How important is it in these games where you do need to take your chances, but they can be few and far between? There's moments like that that really light up the game.
I think we probably had them. I think it was pretty even in terms of the shots at goal and the chances created. They had a couple of big chances. Just prior to half time, Roos had the one-on-one with Beachy, and Beachy made a save, and that could have been a game at 1-1 coming in at half time. So things could have changed, but every game, doesn't matter what it is, finals or your regular games, there's always moments. So the moments that if Jono doesn't shoot and chooses makes a different decision, that doesn't happen. But he takes a shot. It was a great shot, and he scored. So there's going to be many, many of those moments through the course of the game.
Imagine similar sort of angle that we would have watching it. You would have seen it probably as soon as he hit it. It looked like its trajectory was heading in.
Yeah, it initially looked like it was overhit, but it flattened down pretty quickly, and we know he's got that kind of shot and that sort of technique with his left foot. So pleased for him because he had a little injury not long ago, so he's worked his way back.
We're asking you about all these goals, Aurelio, but kept a clean sheet tonight. You referenced Beachy saves on Michael Roos. Kai Truan had that late challenge on Ollie Lavelle. Beachy in the 89th minute with another big save. Just heading into a second leg, just how valuable could those moments be? Because 2-goal lead does look a lot different than a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, correct. Our defence have been strong throughout the course of the year. And as I said, it's not just Beachy, not just the back four. The way we defend as a group, that's important. The way we try to protect our penalty box, that's also important. And at the end, you've got to be desperate. You've got to be absolutely desperate. German has done that on many occasions. Kai did it again tonight. Aziz, even Squid. You got to defend. You got to defend properly, and that's the first thing you need to do. So they've been pretty solid throughout the course of the year. And as I said, again, it's a collective because we're trying to stop that earlier up the pitch rather than in our penalty box.
How close did Nate get, and is he right next week?
Nate was pretty close. So if he gets through the whole week next week, which he at this stage it looks like he will, then he'll be up for selection as well. Sammy is a little bit better. He's actually did a fair bit of running yesterday and he's pulled up well. So he's going to be a week-to-week basis now. So if he can push through this week, let's see how he is. But we also have to understand that it's now gone 5 weeks. So he's hardly touched the ball in 5 weeks. So that makes it a little bit tricky.
Just Noah Bozic, I know there was a bit of a cloud over his fitness. Did it come as any surprise to you guys that he didn't start? Did it throw anything out at all?
No, we knew that he had an issue. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I heard John mention it yesterday. So, with a quad, it's always a little bit risky. So, he's been their top goal scorer. He's played very, very well this year. But they've still got some good weapons up top. And, when Walati came on as well, he looked very, very dangerous. So, they got some nice players up top for sure.
I think they anticipate he'll be right to start, or they're hoping he's right to start next week. Does it change anything?
Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, obviously it's a different dynamic with Roos and Ibasuki, and it's going to be a different one with Noah on there. So, but we just have to manage those moments again.
You do say that Western had their chances, but you played them 3 times now this season, and they've fired a blank in all 3 games. Do you think structurally there's something you do that frustrates United? Do you match up personnel-wise well with them? What do you think is down to blanking them 3 times in succession?
Bit of luck. Roos had the chance and probably scores that on 9 times out of 10. Obviously, Beachy's made a big save at the right moment for us. But we know each other like the back of our hand. They know what we're doing, we know what they're doing, and it's about always trying to manage those moments. So we were not as clean and smooth and efficient as we should have been in the first half, and we were much better in the second half. But I feel we have a lot more improvement in that area tonight. Just the way we try to move the ball, it was probably a little bit too slow for us tonight.
I asked you about Nate and Sammy, but any injury concerns coming out of tonight's game?
Just saw the physios and everyone seems to be okay, but tomorrow morning is another day. And generally with us, something always happens the next day.
Finals football, they'll play through.
Yeah, they'll have to, yeah.
Oh,
So you just touched on Maxi and a few other players playing their first finals game. Look at some of the players coming off the bench as well for the academy.
Yep.
And looking at NPL with a lot of still unbeaten. How excited are you about the sort of long-term future of the club, that production line coming through?
Well, the future's bright. We've got some really good kids, the ones that have already been playing and the ones who've come off the bench tonight. So, and they've made a massive contribution for us this season. And there's another probably, 3 or 4 that potentially will join us in the pre-season next season. So, for years and years and years, the academy has done a hell of a lot of work to get these guys to a reasonable level, and then obviously when they come to the first team, the level has to increase. So they've still got a little bit of time to develop and to nurture, and that's all part of the process. But exciting times for the club, and the way that it's going these days, they can play 10 games and be sold overseas. That's what's been happening in the league the last couple of seasons, and we're probably going to see it again in the next month or so. And I think some of our kids in a year's time or 2 years' time probably they have the potential to do that as well. So, but yeah, excited that we can work with some talented kids, but also knowing that they have to work extremely hard, because the competition here in the A-League, you need to be physical, you need to work extremely hard. It's just a given. So, and most of them are still learning that anyway. So, yeah, we're all excited, but let's see where it goes.
Just next week, so I hope it's obviously your home final here again. So I hope you can get a bigger crowd coming out, because it was probably quite sparse. I know it wasn't at Western's home ground, but with it being your home deck next week.
Yeah, we'd like to get as many as we possibly can. 10,000, we haven't even got close to that this season, and we're going into a second leg in a good position, and it'll be nice to try to get 10,000 in and come and support the boys, because as a football player, you want to be on the pitch, you want to hear the noise, you want to hear drums banging and all sorts of things carrying on in the stands, because that gives them the extra edge, especially after you score a goal, or you're winning a tackle, just that support that the crowd generally gives you. It'll be nice, because I think the players deserve that.